Hi students, welcome to week 4 of Business 301 Business Law. This week we're looking at negotiable instruments, not the kind of instruments you play, all right? So we're going to look at the types of negotiable instruments, we're going to look at their use in business, and as well as some, I'm sure some personal examples from your own life as well. But then also how those instruments get transferred or negotiated. We're going to look at the basics of endorsements of those instruments, and then we're going to look at the customer and bank legal relationship that's out there. So let's take a look at these types of negotiable instruments first. First of all, an instrument is written. It's a written and signed document that promises that you're going to get paid or someone's going to pay you. So it's like a very formal document of an IOU. All right, it's a promise to pay. The different types of negotiable instruments there's promissory notes, there's CDs, like CDs you might buy at a bank, certificates of deposits that is, there's checks, and then there's drafts as well. So make sure you check out the book and read about those in more detail. But now, what is the use of those? This is kind of a busy little chart, but it is very helpful. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so there are two-party instruments. And that would be like the example of where, if you're working with the bank and you put some money on deposit with the bank through a CD or the bank gives you some sort of a loan through a promissory note, that's just between you and the bank. That's a two-party transaction, two-party instrument. When you write a check or a draft, then there's three parties. There's you that wrote it, there's the person who's going to get the money, and there's the bank who's acting on your behalf in between. So you can see those definitions off to the left there. So anyways, pay attention to those. There's two-party and three-party negotiable instruments. How do those instruments get moved around, transferred around? So, sorry about that. So there's transfer by assignment, where you basically give someone the negotiable note, you give someone the note, the instrument. And then there's by negotiation. By negotiation, it's not like you haggle back and forth. It's not that kind of a thing. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's look at the basics of endorsements. So an endorsement, by the way, if you spell check the word endorsement, doesn't work. It doesn't like it in Microsoft Word. But you write your name on the back of the instrument, like on a check. Someone gives you a personal check from them to you, for $10 or whatever the number is. You flip the check over, you sign your name, take it to the bank, you cash it. All right. So that's the endorsement. That's the kind of endorsement that we're talking about. So there's the endorser. It's the one who negotiates by writing their name on the back, and this is part of the negotiation. Now, the endorser negotiates his or her side of the instrument by endorsing the check and then delivering it. And the endorsee is the one who's received it, the person to whom the instrument is given. And so it's called a negotiation. So it's endorsement, delivery, and then receipt. And let's see, there's different types of endorsements. There's a signature-only endorsement. There's a direct payment to a specified person, kind of an in-between party. There's restrictive and qualified. Make sure you read about those in your text. And let's see, customer and bank relationships. So banks and customers have a pretty specified or very specific kind of relationship. It's contractual. It's controlled by the UCC. So there's a contractual relationship, but there's also this debtor-creditor relationship. Think about it for a minute. When you put your money in a savings account or a checking account, you get a credit. You are the creditor, okay? And the debtor is the bank. They're the ones who owe you that money. You put the money in the bank, and they're going to have to pay it back to you. So it's a debtor-creditor relationship. But then there's this principal-agent relationship as well. Now, for example, when you write a check, to somebody else, that somebody else will eventually take it to their bank and eventually back to yours. The bank acts as an agent on your behalf. You're the principal, the bank acts as the agent, and they're going to, on your behalf, acting as your agent, withdraw money from your account to pay the bank, to pay the check that you wrote. All right, that is it for Chapter 4. Make sure you're watching the devotionals. Your DQs are due again. As a reminder, about your discussion questions. I see I've got them numbered wrong there too. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Anyways, I lost track about how to count. So anyways, discussion questions are due. The initial reply is due on Wednesday for us for discussion question 1. And then the initial reply for discussion question 2 is due on Friday. So Wednesday, Friday. And then any 3 responses either to your initial replies or to somebody else's responses are due by Sunday. All 5 due by Sunday. Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And then, of course, quizzes and assignments are due by then as well. All right. Hope your week is going to go great. And I'll be praying for you. And remember, God is on his throne. He's always been there. He's always going to be.